my day off. I sit at home in my pajamas, searching for my own story within the pages of a book, losing myself between empty coffee cups. Then, a message. I'm startled by the vibration, not used to my phone ringing. And then I read those 3 words that will linger in my mind for a long time. "Don't worry, I'm here," the message says. At first, I don't understand. I read it again, and again, and again. The number isn't saved in my phone, meaning I don't know who sent it. Who could it be, I wonder, for minutes? Though I don't yet know those minutes will stretch into days. Countless scenarios run through my mind. Being the hopeless romantic that I am, my mind first goes to that boy from Cass. But only recently I learned in the harshest way possible that he didn't care about me and that his heart belonged to someone else. It can't be him, I tell myself. How would he get my number? And even if he did, why would he write something like that? But I can't even lie to myself. In the end, that torturous hope prevails. Hope is a kind of daily suicide, one where you kill yourself at the end of every day and pick up right where you left off each morning. Once again, I let myself believe that maybe it's him. After 45 minutes of staring at my phone screen, I can't help myself and write, "Who are you?" No answer. Half an hour passes, then an hour, a whole afternoon, and then a night darker than any night in my life. Still no answer. I fall asleep staring at my phone, waiting for a reply that never comes. The next day. My shift starts at noon. The mysterious message from yesterday is still on my mind. Before I head out to the cafe, I finally gather the courage to do what I tried and failed to do yesterday. I call the number that texted me. It rings for a long time. No one answers, convinced that life is playing another cruel joke on me, raising my hopes only to crush them. I return to my dark, empty life. Maybe dirty pastry plates and half-finished coffee cups will help me forget again. Maybe, like everyone else, I can forget I have a heart. At the cafe, everything goes as usual. But uncontrollably, I keep checking my phone, replaying those 3 words over and over in my head. So when I bring coffee to a couple who just came in, with smiles that suggest they're living the happiest marriage in the world, I unintentionally create a small disaster. Though calling it small doesn't do it justice, because minutes later, this mistake will turn their lives upside down, leading them down a path as dark as mine. "I'm so sorry," I say to the man whose entire pant leg I've soaked in coffee. "My hand slipped, it was an accident." "Let me wipe it up so there's no stain," I add. I'm about to run to the counter for a towel, but he stops me. No, he says, "It's fine, I'll clean it up in the restroom." His huge smile is reassuring. I look at the woman. She's smiling too. Nothing seems like it could ruin their day. They're so happy, so incredibly happy. When the man heads to the restroom, I grab a towel and clean up the table. At that moment, something unexpected happens. The man's phone, left on the table, starts ringing persistently. The woman resists looking at it at first, but the phone rings with such insistence that she finally picks it up. "I should probably answer this," she mutters and picks it up. But before she can even say a word, she freezes. The happiness in her eyes vanishes, replaced by emptiness, stillness, darkness. Her eyes well up, then fill with flames. Her face doesn't change though. Her eyes betray her sorrow, her anger, her grief. I'm scared. She places the phone back on the table and abruptly gets up. She takes a few steps toward the cafe door, then stumbles, grabbing a chair to steady herself. I rush over to help. "Ma'am, are you okay? Please, sit down, I'll get you some water," I say. No, she replies, her teeth chattering. "I have to go, I need to leave right now. Shall I let your husband know?" I ask. She grabs my arm with surprising force, saying, "Don't you dare. Don't say a word to him," before she finally breaks down and starts crying. "Can you please help me find a cab?" she asks between sobs. A woman who learned she would become a mother, thinking it was the happiest day of her life, only to find out her husband was unfaithful. I walk her to the street corner. She cries continuously while waiting for a cab. You know me, I can't stand things like this. Are you sure you're okay? Did you receive some bad news on the phone, I ask, giving in to my curiosity. Bad news? It couldn't get any worse. I should never have answered that call, never. But how could I have known? The caller ID showed my husband's boss's name, MS. My husband had taken the day off to take me to the doctor, and since our appointment took longer than expected, didn't want his boss to be upset. So I thought I'd answer and explain the situation. I'd tell MS, "Claire, we have some wonderful news today. We're going to have a baby," and she'd congratulate us and wouldn't mind that Sirkin was late. But none of that happened. Instead, as soon as I picked up, MS. Claire, the same MS, Claire who has visited our home, who's married and has a daughter, said, "Haven't you gotten rid of that stupid wife of yours yet? Come on, honey, I'm waiting for you at our usual spot." She said that to me, the woman who just found out she's going to be a mother, who's head over heels in love with her husband. Can you believe it? It's all starting to make sense now. All those late nights, the work dinners, the out-of-town business trips, the hotels. She's right. I'm an idiot. A fool. I look at the woman who learned her husband was cheating on her on the day she found out she'd be a mother, thinking it was the happiest day of her life. I know all too well what betrayal feels like. There is no moment in life that makes you feel more worthless, more insignificant, more alone. Your heart and pride break at the same time, and carrying that weight together is incredibly hard. Knowing the man you love chose someone else over you burns your soul, shatters you to pieces. Before I can console her, a cab pulls up. She wipes her tears and rushes to the cab. If he asks about me, just say I left. Don't mention anything else. Okay, she says. Then, after a brief pause, she turns to me once more. "Thank you. By spilling that coffee, you saved my life," she says before getting into the cab and driving away quickly. I return to the cafe. The man has come out of the restroom, looking around. When he spots me, he rushes over. "Where's Emma? Have you seen my wife?" he asks. "She's gone," I say. He stares at me for a long time. Unable to hold back, I add, "I think she's gone for good." He stumbles, leaves a wad of cash on the table, and exits the cafe. Butterfly effect that started with spilling coffee ends with the collapse of a marriage before my eyes. I can't stop thinking about what happened today, not until I close up the cafe that night. I can still feel Emma's burning heart, her pain as if it were my own. And all the while, that mysterious message from yesterday lingers in my mind. Those 3 words haunt me, twisting my mind, knotting my stomach, prickling my skin. I'm the last to leave the cafe. As I lock the door, I sense a shadow to my right. I shiver. A voice from the darkness says, "Don't be afraid, I am afraid, I am afraid," I reply. "I'm here," he says. His breath smells like the sea. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned.